Hello, friends. Welcome to another off season episode of Altar Call MAFS. Today, I will be discussing The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives Season 2. Who else would I have to talk about this with me but Aid? Hi, Aid. How are you?
I am great. How are you?
I'm good. I mean, you've been gracing me with your presence. I'm ecstatic. It's like home again. But
Aw.
I don't know if you remember this, but this was your last episode on the regular feed. I
Oh,
think it was Secret Lives of Mormon Wives and Sister Wives was your last on Patreon. But yeah, full circle.
you have a great memory. I had no idea.
But yeah, I'm so glad to talk to you about this because I remember when we talked about it the first time, I said that they would have been doing us a disservice if these group of women never came together and made this reality show. That's how much I love this show. And I still love it in season two. And I'm interested to know how you feel about it in season two. Because I remember you liked it season one.
I still like it. I think 10 episodes is probably too much.
Oh, God. While people are saying it's not enough.
But I mean, I still like it. And I see that I guess there's going to be a season 2 part 2.
I think it's going to be season three because I listened to, I can never say this man's name right. And you would think I would learn Vial, whichever one files, the one everyone goes to for their reunion now for all shows. And Jenn and Zach were on there and she said season three.
I mean, I guess if she's out promoting a season 3, then she must be on it. So I think that's good news.
Well, here's the thing. I think they've already, I'm with you. I thought it was, I've been calling it season two, part B. But I think they've already filmed it because we already saw snippets of it. So I don't know. Maybe they'll add stuff to it and then she'll be on there, or I don't know. No news on that, which is good because like unlike the Housewives, we get too much news out there. But how do you feel about season two, B, three, whatever it's called?
I like the fact that they are honest. And I mean honest like when we're getting to, instead of housewives where people are fighting about brand deals but they can't say they're fighting about brand deals, they're fighting about the show but they can't say they're fighting about the show.
Hmm.
They just say it and I appreciate it.
Yes. There's a lot of breaking the fourth wall on this. They're like, we're pushing you out the cast. I want my money. We're just not going to guess what it's about. We know what they are fighting about. And that makes it clearer for us to understand exactly what it is they're fighting about. But, and also the other part of their honesty is they're always in sweats. They're just always comfortable.
I didn't even notice that, but you're right. They do wear a lot of workout clothes, a lot of sweats. But it's also like, yes, you're in sweats, but you know you got your 10-inch weave, your lashes, like your full face of makeup. So I mean, how relaxed are you?
That's true. Maybe I am thinking of Taylor's who's always relaxed. Even when she dresses up, she's not going as much as like a sweater dress is all she's gonna be in, and then that's it. But yeah, they're still in there. So where do we I don't even know where to start from. Let's start with the new cast member who could have been an email. Miranda? Like I go ahead.
I liked the appearance of Miranda because once again it's honesty. Miranda was like, "Oh, I used to be part of this thing and then you guys went and made a TV show without me." The producers were probably like, "Please come." And she's like, "Sure." And I love that for her.
Why would I say no? And I mean, when she first introduced herself, I'm like, having the other couple in the swinger event is wild. Like, how do you wanted to hide from it the first time, but now you've seen how everything exploded and you want to come on here. And I thought it was really gonna give a lot, but it ended up giving nothing. Like
There's like
sometimes
30 people on this cast. And so it doesn't really everybody there's the people who give a lot and then there's a whole group of them who just give a little and that's enough. And I feel like Miranda's in that group. She showed up, she confirmed that Taylor was not a liar about the swinging. Her ex-husband created some drama. Like she did her part, her little part.
she did. But at the end of the day, everybody wants to be famous because what else would explain what's her name? The person Dakota slept with, Jenna, coming on. I cannot imagine being the, I don't know who the side chick was at this point, her or Taylor, coming on there, sitting there, confirming everything text by somebody questioning me, someone again who is not paying my bills, who is not my legal guardian, asking me all these questions, having two phones side by side. And I'm going to sit there willingly and just answer that question just for some screen time. Like, it's not worth it to me.
They are so I feel like they are actually the reason why Real Housewives of Salt Lake City couldn't get the Mormons.
Mm.
Because they are young.
Yeah.
Their brains are not, I mean, I say young relatively. Like some of them are in their 30, 29, but
Two.
most of them are under 25. And
Yeah.
I think that drives a lot of their choices. That they want to be TikTok famous. That girl Jenna wants a few more followers. She don't care. And honestly, she didn't do anything wrong. She didn't know the man wasn't single.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Because Miranda is 26. Every time they flash on the screen that Michaela or Layla, like 24, I'm just like floored. There's like three children and a marriage and a divorce. And I'm like, this is like 10 lives. And you're not even 25 yet.
And that's part of the appeal of the show. I don't know how other people grew up, but their values are so different than
Yeah.
the values that I grew up with,
Mm-hmm.
that it's just real interesting. And when I say the values, I mean like for them, and they're evolving, but their main thing seems to be get married, have as many children as you possibly can, and look real cute on TikTok while you do it.
So my thought was that they all were in a group in mom talk or whatever. I'm not familiar with that. But when I was listening to Jen and Zach, Jen said something about someone asked her, "Hey, do you want to be on the show?" And she was like, "Yeah, sure. I want to be on it." And I'm wondering why the follow up question wasn't like, "I thought you guys were already all in a group in mom talk." And unless I heard it wrong, I didn't know there was any casting done.
Oh, you thought that you I get I this is my understanding. And it's not based on, like listening to an interview or
Hmm.
anything. My understanding was there's a group of them. I'm not sure how tightly aligned that group was, who
Hmm.
made TikToks together but also have their own separate accounts. And basically it's like, oh, like when they used to do those giveaways on Instagram where it's like, if you follow these 7 people, we'll enter you into a giveaway so that
Hmm.
everybody can increase their follower account. So they would just do these videos together so they could all increase their individual follower accounts. I didn't think it was a very like tight association, but I think that they pulled from that group to cast for the show. But I don't think everybody who ever made a video with them made it to the show.
Ah, okay. All right. Because that wasn't my, I just thought they were one group. So that makes sense if that was the case. And that makes sense with what she said in that regard. Let's talk about Taylor's mom. Taylor's mom 2.0. Taylor's mom who's trying to be Taylor. Taylor's mom had all this face stuff done. She lost all of this weight. And what were you thinking about it? She looks more like Taylor now. But what are we thinking about Taylor's mom?
I mean, she writes for her daughter, but really she just wants attention. Like there's another one. She's a real estate agent. She's always looking for a client. She's always looking to build her brand.
This is a person I am surprised was not a stage mom because she looks like she wants to be in the limelight. She's going to support all of Taylor's wrongs and rights because she feels like she can benefit from it. And I don't care what it takes. Like, go ahead and do it as long as I keep getting the benefits of it. Because what they didn't mention was who paid for it.
Oh, Taylor. It has to be Taylor. It also, I think the other part is it doesn't seem like it's been that long since they ended filming the last season.
Mhm.
And so how did she lose all that weight in that time?
Girl, jab, jab, Ozempic, all of the things. You don't need to work out and eat less anymore. Jab, jab.
And then work out like her face work. But I mean, on one hand, I'm like good for her. On the other hand, I don't know. She doesn't look that good. She just looks thin and with a new face. Like,
A very tight face. Her face doesn't move. She was crying, and I was like, what's going on? We might as well talk about Taylor right now. Taylor is a mess. You
Taylor is
know,
the star.
she's a star, but Taylor's a mess. Like it's just
The two things go hand in hand.
they go hand in hand. We would not be here if she wasn't a mess. um, but it's sad and sometimes a little uncomfortable to watch because not a strong word, but Taylor hates herself.
And
And
why? I'm like, "Well, what did you didn't?" That's what I mean by different values.
yeah.
Okay, having two kids, getting divorced, having a baby with a complete loser who doesn't respect you or even like you very much. These are all very bad choices.
Hmm.
But they're like, you didn't kill anybody.
Yeah, she didn't. But when you are in a cult, I'm just gonna say it, you are indoctrinated in certain things and it's what you believe. And I always say this, even in life, unlearning is a lot of things. You grow up in something, it's gonna be normal to you. And no matter how much she's trying to shed from it, and again, this is why don't repress people, because these people act like they didn't let them play in the play yard and they're just horny all the time and they want to do all the things, and just let people do what they want to do. But either way, she hasn't shed all of those things and she just feels like she's trash. Like when she talks about, the swinging thing, she's so hard on herself. I mean, I know that she comes off like, the bravado and she's so erratic, but when she's by herself, I think the voices are so loud in her head. And when you think about, we're not really shown how she grew up, but that inkling from that barbecue when Dakota was there and her stepdad or dad was like, "You only knew him 3 days and you slept with him. What does that say about you?"
That was like terrible. Her mom, the only one who
Mm,
had any sense was the
her
person who
sister.
we're not sure is her sister or her sister in law.
What?
Um, but everybody, like,
Yeah,
I'll say it, the slut shaming. I was
yeah,
like, what? This is what I mean by I mean,
yeah,
granted, I like grew up in church and you're supposed to not have sex before you're married, but I guess I'm many, many years past that kind of like super restrictive thinking.
yeah. But
Um,
yeah,
yeah, like the idea of saying that you deserve bad things happening to you, or actually, you deserve this low quality man cheating on you
hmm,
because you slept with him too early.
yeah, and then I think at some point she even said it was karma because she did the swinging. So it's just a hamster wheel of punishment of things that she thinks she deserves. And then her just feeling like she's this dirty thing that doesn't deserve anything. And what was it that she said when she was so fixated on Dakota not doing things in the daytime with her and only wanting to, and in her words, which she said so many times, "You came back and you fucked me." And it's like
That's
at
why I like her.
night, at night, that held so much water for her. And that is the one thing she can't let go, is that you said all these things to her, but you only wanted me in your bedroom. And Dakota is firing back with, "Well, that's all you asked for. You wanted it." And then she's just like, then she goes in that spiral and is like, "Well, what kind of person ask somebody for sex? Me. I'm that kind of person who's not healing and who's it sounds heavy. And I can't imagine her carrying it and walking around with it. And I don't know if her therapist is working and if she needs a different one, but she needs to let it loose and she might be better for it.
It's just they have a lot of time. And I guess I'm wondering what does like the ideal situation look like in her head?
Yeah.
Like is it like I have a husband, I have kids, and I live like the life that I was told I was going to like grow up
Yeah.
to live? I feel like you're now a reality TV star going to the CMAs, like that ship has sailed. You're going to be something different now. Something I don't want to say better.
No, but here's the thing. Even if she is in that picture that she has in her head, Taylor is going to be unhappy. Taylor was not born to be a not a Stepford wife, but to follow the rules. She's not that kind of person. She's just a wild spirit and she's just impulsive and that's who she is, and she just needs to be comfortable with that and kind of dispel all the things that she's been taught in her life, and also give some distance with her family, because I know they're there to take care of the kid and they're there for her, but low-key I think they're there to get the benefits of where she's headed. Just me.
And to film and to be on reality television because that's the opportunity that she provides for them.
Yeah. But part of what makes Taylor a star. So we talked about Miranda coming in and saying that she never did anything. I didn't swing. I didn't do that. And she insisted on that. And then they decide to have a one on one. And Miranda is like, well, all I did was kiss. And Taylor is like, they do a side by side. Also, the production is top notch. They do a side by side of them in their confessionals. And Taylor was like, okay, I'm going to list everything that we did. She said it's like Love Island. And I'm thinking, okay, Love Island is not bad. Yes, they make out and they're on top of each other. And she's like, yes, we were on top of each other. Then we started having sex with our husbands in the same bed. Then there were four husbands. Then we started kissing each other while being blindfolded. And then we started guessing which husband it was. Then we had short shorts. Then they recorded us on phones. And then, that's what we did. And then they switched back to Miranda. And she's like, I mean, nothing Taylor said is wrong. That was hilarious to
But I
me.
do, even with the swinging, and you and I think actually, I would say disagreed about this, but I think it
Yeah.
just turns out that you were right and I was wrong.
Hmm.
Um, because I was like, surely there was some sex, but even with the swinging, like no one had sex with anybody who wasn't their husband.
Hmm.
I'm
That we
like, what
know
kind of
of.
swinging is this?
That we know of. Just like hang on till season 4. I feel like there's so many secrets. Like in Miranda's case, that's what happened, but we don't know what else happened. Um, but yeah, but Taylor's authenticity, when she just says things like that, is what makes her a star. And while the rest of them, I think you said that, they're the vocal people, and the rest of them are keeping up appearances, honestly, because there are people who are vocal but are still keeping up appearances. Yeah, Whitney might appear like, oh, she speaks out, although she was a little mute this season. And my thing for Whitney is I wish she would just lean into being a villain. It would be so much more enjoyable because at the end of the season where she's like, well, I got my gold star. That's what I came in here for. I'm like, yes, just be honest about that. Um, I thought that Whitney coming back like with amnesia, forgetting everything she said last season. Like, I don't want to be a part of these people. I'm just gonna take a time out and then coming back like nothing happened. That's a true villain. Please lean into it, Whitney. Please, with your
A,
headband.
a true villain, but also like this is a TV show.
Mm,
It needs a villain.
yeah.
Whitney played an important role as being the villain last season, and she's like, it's so we'll get to like when people lose their minds at the end of the season, but when it's like, okay, well, who do you remember from season one? Taylor for sure,
Yeah.
Whitney,
Mm-hmm.
maybe Jen.
Yes.
The rest of them very forgettable. Macy only because she was like Taylor's best friend, and I remember thinking last season that she wasn't married.
She was the Switzerland. She's very background actor, but I think because she was Switzerland, that's why we remembered her. And she was the
The
person
one
that
at the
Whitney,
end
yeah. Hmm.
telling Taylor, "Oh, I got the girl who cheated on with Dakota
Yeah.
on the phone."
Yeah.
So, but those are the only four that I actually remembered. Everybody else I had to be reminded of. So when they're like, "Oh, we could do this without," I'm like, "No, you really," and that speaks to why Whitney is only here because they're on a TV show, and that's fine.
Yeah. Um, I don't this is I'm trying to think if this is a thing. So before the show premiered, we already knew who all the people like people were pregnant. I didn't know without the Chiron or the name tag at the bottom. Thank God they still kept that, honestly. Because I didn't realize how much Demi sorry, I need to say her name right. Which by the way, did we know her name is Demetria?
No, we did not know that.
I was shocked. I didn't expect Demi to stand for Demetria. I just thought it was Demi and nothing else there. But Demi and Jesse look so much alike. I don't
Yeah,
think I realized that until now. I can tell them apart, but they look so much alike. But by the time we found out all the people were pregnant and what all the storylines were, the impression I got from season 1 was that they were so fame hungry. I, for a fleeting second, actually thought they all planned to get pregnant to keep a story to make sure they were in there on there. But I mean, I think things we see now we just like that was not a thing that she wanted. But let's talk about, who do you want to talk about, Jen or Michaela?
let's start with Jen.
The Jen of it all. Jen was going through it.
It was just very sad. Like her husband still sucks.
Yeah.
I was so shocked. The first thing I saw on Threads was someone talking about how Zach has clearly gone to therapy and done the work and he's much better. And I was like, clearly this is a plan, right? Like that's
No. People actually believe that.
no.
They
They're
do.
he's just trying to he's a little bit shamed, but he's leaning into like how can I still hide things so I look like a good person? How can I still berate my wife when I look bad because of my own actions? He was still leaning hard into that.
So while listening to this interview, he's taking accountability, yes. In fact, I think the words he said, he says Jen has been through media training so she knows how to say things nice. I haven't. So I'm just gonna be raw and say all the things how I want it. He was honest about the fact that it's just how he grew up and it's what he knew. Like the man always take control, and I think he used the word patriarchy, and they're the ones, the man of the house, and you're supposed to like earn a living. And I'm like, pick and choose, because she's making more money according to what she told us. Although after the season I don't know what is true or not with what Jen says. But he also says like he's the kind of person, like this is all he's known. It's hard for him to expand his mind. He said that. And it's hard for him to think in a different way. He only knows one way, and that's all he knows. So I just think that he's doing this to keep the peace, because I think this is what is earning them money. This man has dropped out of med school. He's not going back, and I don't know, where do you go from, what skills does he have?
I
What
mean,
is he going
if
to
he
do?
was accepted into med school, he has a bachelor's degree in something.
Okay. But I'm just okay. So in my mind, people that are going to med school are usually like one track. Like this is all. This is my give my all. This is all I'm gonna do. But what is his plan? Like okay, we haven't heard him say anything outside of I dropped out of med school. I don't know what his plan is outside of this. And I hope to God this dad talk scene that we saw is just a one time thing, because that was really annoying.
I it's not just Zach, it's all of these people making influencer money. I'm always curious. Like, I know you are making mad, mad, mad money, but I don't, is it sustainable?
Yeah,
Like, are you investing in something that will make you money should all of this ever go away?
yeah,
Those are my questions.
yeah. That's true. So going back to Jen, we find that she's not in a good place. They're yet to recover from Chippendale Gate, which was huge, I guess, in their marriage. And my question was, is it within them? Was it one thing, and did the noise from everybody else and all the commentary exacerbate it and make it even worse than it was, or were they already like in a bad place?
I think they were already in a bad place.
Okay, me too. But they're separated, actually. They're not living in the same place, and then Jen is going back and forth, and they're going to do a trial living and see where that goes. And the next thing we see is they're doing ketamine. Every season these people push their faith on what the church allows or doesn't allow. I think when we when we covered the first time, we were trying to see about plastic surgery and then
Eh,
caffeinated drinks. It has to be hot or cold or one or the other. And now I'm seeing ketamine, and I'm like, is this not what killed Matthew Perry? Like, I'm so confused as to what this thing is.
I think it's the whole like everything in modern like all medications, if you abuse them, then they become harmful. So I guess if the doctor prescribed you ketamine of a certain amount, you're allowed to use it.
Why
But
are
if
they
you take too much, it might kill you.
why are they even it's like, I'm gonna get a little bit of crack.
I
It's not
mean, it used to be in Coca Cola, a little bit crack.
yeah, you ain't hit nobody. But anyways, they're doing this. I'm like, please just go to therapy, guys. I don't know what this is supposed to do. Zach didn't look like he was like into it, but he's like, you know what? I'm on my good graces tour. I'm gonna do it. It's fine. But next thing we also see is that she's taking a pregnancy test. And I had so many questions because I was like, I thought you were separated. I thought you were not together. When did this happen? But I think that's on me. I should know that when these people say they're separated, it doesn't mean anything except they're not living in the same house. They're still sleeping together.
I didn't even believe that they ever separated. I felt like it was something they had to say so that she could look like there were consequences for his bad behavior in season 1.
Hmm. Hmm. Plausible. But she was sad. She was very, very sad that she was pregnant. And like I always say, when people say um it was an accident and it wasn't planned, if you are not using protection, guys, there's a possibility. And that's usually what happens. But during the confessional, she said something. She says, I am sad for this child because I don't know where my marriage is. And I don't know what this will do to the child. And I'm like, you have current children. Whatever state your marriage is applies to them too, not just the one on the way, you know?
I feel like what she was saying is
Okay.
my marriage is not going to last, but now it's going to last longer because I'm having a baby. Um so I think but yeah, I think that Jen knows that she and Zach are not going to be together forever. But watching her cry about being pregnant was, I think what made me so sad is like, I'm like, this is why I'm pro choice.
Like that wasn't an option.
Like, no one ever talked about how that might be an option because it's not an option for her. Um,
Well, I do think it's an option for her, but she fucked up by telling him. If she's gonna do something like that, she has to not tell him.
no, I don't. I do think there are people who are raised a certain way who it really in their mind it's not an option. And I'm actually, at the end of the day, it's a choice, right?
Yeah.
I don't love this idea that like you're raised in a way where you feel like you don't have a choice because that's
Hmm.
just what it felt like watching her. Like, oh, I have no choice but to have this child because that's what you do when you're pregnant. Oh, oh,
Yeah. I mean, you talked about how this show is great and how everyone is always so honest, and this was an example of how honest these people are. When she was talking about, I'm not sure that I want to stay in this marriage. I don't know how I feel, and just crying about it. She does mention in the Via files that she always wants to be vulnerable. I do think that Jen knows what she wants to do. I just think that she doesn't have the balls to do it.
but I feel very certain that one day she will get those balls.
Amen, amen, amen. From your mouth to God's ears.
But I actually do sort of understand like she is 20 when we're watching she is 25 years old
Yeah.
with three children all
This,
under the age of like 5.
yeah. But that's what we're saying is these people are not grown yet and they're all in the situations and you have all these things. And I think what makes her situation unique, and they don't talk about it a lot, is the fact that Jen thinks that she should be grateful. Because if you remember, her mom used to clean the hospital Zach's dad works at.
As a
And I
surgeon,
Yeah.
yes.
And that power dynamic still plays in her mind because, again, on the interview, she mentioned, oh, he comes from a well known family, and they're very rich and they come from money. And part of why she said she wants to be on Mom Talking on the show is like all these opportunities are things that they make me have the things that I never had growing up. For some of these people, they had it. I've never had it. And I'm not going to lose that opportunity. And I'm going to take it at every moment that I have. So there's a lot of psychological things at play with Jen. And I think she doesn't want to be the one that breaks that up. I don't know if you saw this TikTok that Zach did.
Oh, I saw it.
Oh my God.
And I was just like,
For those who didn't see it, I think he had like a caption where he says, me watching, no, my
my
ancestors,
ancestors watching
me as I end the
dilute my pure bloodline.
pure white bloodline or something like that. And I'm like, oh, not cool. Not good at all.
But then
So
she
things like that.
reposted it apparently and laughed. So I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she's feeling grateful or whatever it is that she's feeling and things like that. And I just feel the dynamic, and he knows that. Men like that know the kind of women they marry, and she's trying to get her power. But again, when you're indoctrinated, it's kind of hard. But let's switch over to the Jen of it all, where Jen has her faults and where she's taking accountability. Oh, I'm sorry. One more thing from the podcast. He asked about, do you feel guilty, or do Zach's parents blame her for bringing the show and people seeing him be an asshole and things like that? And Jen made it a point to say, a little bit, yes, I do, but I'm not the one who made him act the way that he did. And I'm so glad she said that because for them to blame her, like, no, they brought the show and they altered his actions or his character. This is who you raised. This is who he is. So let him take responsibility for that.
And it's just this is the part that like we have and you've said it, but I just want to make sure
Hmm.
this is where their money is coming from these days.
Yeah.
And they all made more money after the show, got more followers, got more brand deals. So his parents don't have a leg to stand on.
But that's why I'm always so confused where he has such disdain for the group. And I'm like, Zach, what is your 401k plan? Like, this is the plan. So every time you tell her to leave, I'm like, based on what?
Based
So
on the fact that I look bad, um, go ahead. You were about to talk about Jen's faults.
yes. Okay. So we're going back on Chippendale, and then Zach is going to Jesse and Demi and saying all the things. And we find out that, Jen might have bent the truth a little bit because she's the one who said that he gambled all the medical school money away. Zach says that that's not true on the podcast. He said he hadn't even been accepted into med school yet. I do not believe it because you don't have to be accepted to have the money stashed away. Maybe they gave it to you, but he said that his dad paid when he did get accepted, his dad paid it directly to the school. Again, I'm not buying it. I don't know. I just know that he's lying. Don't ask me to show proof.
I
I
think
just know
he's
he's
lying, and
lying.
I think he's also a gambling addict. So,
So
and I
there's
also
that.
think that Jen was kind of
Yeah.
there was an
So
interesting moment where she's like, "Well, you have to tell them," and I feel like that was her way of saying, like, "If you're gonna lie about this, you're gonna lie about this, because I'm not gonna lie about this.
yeah.
I'll back
So
you up in your lie, but I'm not lying for you."
you tell me the story, let's ride. Because as Jen said, I'm from the hood. Hey.
I was that was like I wasn't really a fan of that. I was
No, it wasn't. Zach said, relax. You were born in Provo. But anyways, that was one. Two was the whole Affleck thing. And Zach was like, stop it. We are not related to this man. And she's like, well, from the moment I came here, that's all your family told me. And I'm riding with it. And she's like 10 toes down. I'm not going to stop saying it.
I
And then
believe her there too. I
I
think
don't
this
believe her.
I believe her. I think it was probably like a family joke type thing. And they
Hmm.
just didn't realize that this girl was going to end up on reality TV and say the family joke like it was true.
I think they told
But
her
this
it was
is
a
why,
joke.
like,
And she said, I'm not going to stop.
and this is where I wish they had some freaking sense of humor about all of this. Like, this whole Ben Affleck thing is funny. That's all it
It is
is. It's
funny.
funny. But she can't laugh about it. Zach can't laugh about it. Those stupid bitches, Demi and Jesse, can't just laugh about it.
Abe, it's Demi.
I don't care. Um, sorry, it's
No,
to
no,
me.
no. It's fine. I just no, it's funny because it's just a name that's four letters, but it just you have to pause. Yeah. And then the third thing was the Chippendales. They did show a flashback where they told Jen, and Jen was like, "Oh my god, that's gonna be so funny." And all of a sudden, she's like, "They didn't tell me." So, Jen, what's going on?
What's going on is that she has to live with that man. I'm not. I do feel like Jen's lies and stuff are all about protecting herself from Zach's wrath,
Hmm.
and so I don't get mad at her for it. Like she's in survival mode with this man. And
But don't
once
you?
again, the Chippendales thing could have been funny, but no, we can't have a sense of humor about anything when Zach is around.
That's true. If I were him for the Affleck thing, I'll just be like, oh, well, you know what? I'm just going to claim him until he tells me not to. Ha ha ha. Or just move on. But if she is in survival mode, wouldn't a better thing to do be, guys, I don't think he's going to find it funny too soon. Don't do it. Or actually tell him and say, but don't make a big deal out of it. I'm telling you, you have enough time to prepare and all that. But to flat out not say anything and then flat out say, nope, you did not tell me. I had no idea about it. That's not a better way to protect yourself.
I mean, I think where she kind of runs into trouble is that she still wants to be fun and like she's smart enough to know that me anything involving her and the Chippendales is good TV. It's a flashback to last season. It's an opportunity. So when she's in that mode, she's like, "Oh, it's good," but then she has to deal with that man again and yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of it all, the problem is Zach. Let's not get it twisted. But I think we learned that Jen would make a good housewife because Jen brings what is it called, a gun to a knife fight. You say something and she's gonna throw anything back to fight. And she brings up the incidents that or non-incident that happened in Italy and says that Demi is trying to hide cheating. And then we find out what was the other thing where she told Jesse where your husband rubbed his small dick on me. Like, where did that come from?
Okay, this is the only things that I will hold Jen accountable for. Did you watch that Vanderpump Villa show?
Am I supposed to say yes in public? Yes.
I know you did because it's Lisa Vanderpump's thing. Um, I can't stand the woman personally. Uh, so I mean, it's a good crossover. It's if she hadn't brought it up, how would we have even known that they were on Vanderpump Villa? Anyway,
Yeah, it was done from the beginning. Like I said, these women are so horny. They were there for like 2 days, and it was just like, my goodness, they've never seen or had a penis in their entire life. But from my viewpoint, I don't think anything happened with Demi. But from off the show things that we know, because Sheena is involved in everything, Sheena already said or confirmed that it was Jesse, but we're going to get there with that. But again, the way these women are so bold to cheat. Like, I'm too paranoid. I'm just there. And she
that's why you're
even
not cheating on your husband is because you're paranoid.
no, I'm just saying, like, even if I wanted to like cheat, I'd be like so paranoid, like everyone's gonna see, and then you're in a reality TV show and you're famous. It's just I don't know how they do that, but yeah. Um. So now we can talk about. Wait, did you have anything else with Jen?
No.
Okay. See, let's talk about Michaela. I think Michaela and Layla came in being like, "Oh, we were too quiet in season one, so we're going to make our mark." And Michaela picked Whitney and was like, "I am going to hate her till the death." And it was so entertaining to me the way she hated Whitney.
just once I just thought it was too much.
Yeah, it was, but everyone's trying to make sure they're in season three.
I get it, but it's just I don't maybe it's my poor memory, but I'm like Whitney is so necessary to this thing that the way they act like she's some and then the things she did are so to be so mild. Like why are we so
No.
then it just seems very overdone. You know what else I like about Whitney and this is like I think Whitney no offense to anybody. I say this myself with like braided extensions in my hair right now. But Whitney appears to be wearing her own hair. And I feel like it's almost rebellious in on that cast to just wear your own short hair. So for that, I give her props.
It's funny.
Did you notice
Props.
that? Did you even
No,
think
I
about
didn't. No, the things I was noticing was more what Jesse was doing to our girl Layla and the cameraman deciding that he's going to film from that side when you had many other options to do. I think I wrote out on social media. I was like, why can't you just reach out to Mary? Like, I don't know, get someone to do your hair. Like, not Jesse though. Um,
someone posted a picture and it was really quite unfortunate. It was like a before and after of Layla. I think it was from Jesse's like Instagram or something.
mhm.
And it showed like her, her hair and then with the extensions and they're just like she needs to go to a hairstylist for her type of hair. We'll just
She
leave that
does.
there.
I mean, as a sidebar on that, I think that's the thing that I'm missing. Like that would give Layla, well, in addition, I think more depth. She spoke about it a little bit on season one, but just what it's like to be Black in Mormon culture. I think I would like to understand. Like, does it affect her much? Is she used to it? I know we saw her sister, and I know she had some kind of strife with her family. I believe was it her mom and dad? But it would be interesting if they had, done more and then had maybe gone out to lunch with her sister. Does her sister feel the same way? How does her sister feel about the church? I'm interested to know what it's like navigating that culture as a Black person, it's like a biracial person, I guess. I wish they would do more in that regard.
Me too.
So yeah. So Layla and Michaela approached this in different ways. Michaela decided that she was just gonna pick Whitney and she was just going to hate her. And by the way, I appreciated it because I did think that Whitney shouldn't skate away with what she did. Yes, what we needed is not terrible. Yes, we need a villain, but are you insane? You are not going to insult me. You're not going to say all these things, leave the group chat, be all dramatic, don't show up for my birthday and you are my, closest friend and then come back like nothing happened. You must be out your damn mind. So I'm glad somebody was holding her feet to the fire. Lele, on the other hand, decided to just do things that were weird. Do things like, hey, I like where our friendship is. Here's a group chat, read it. What? Like, oh, okay, I'm gonna support you. Yeah, of course. What she did was wrong, and then not do anything. And then the cruelest of them all, that pregnancy roulette thing. That was so cruel to me, Aid.
That was like really, really terrible. And I will say this though, I'm not blaming anybody on the cast for the idea because I fully believe that it came from production, and then Layla was the one who was nominated to say it. Um, but they should have they they should have drawn a line. They should have never ever played that game.
Yeah,
You
I
just don't know what's going on with people. I'm gonna divert to a side note.
okay.
Like you, I heard it from you because I watched it, but you posted Cameron and
Yeah.
Lauren's baby announcement.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like I went to go look at the comments and I felt like everybody missed the part where they basically said, hey, you know what it's like trying to get pregnant when people are all up in your comments asking all the time and how hurtful that is?
Yeah.
I felt like people missed that part of the video and I thought it was pretty clear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Looking at you, Vanessa Lachey, but truly everybody, like from the moment these people got married, people have been up in their comments. When are you getting married? When are you when are you having a baby? When are you having a baby? Oh, your babies are going to be so cute. Can you 4 years of trying to have a baby and people
Yeah.
are posting that stuff? What is wrong with you people?
I don't it's always baffles me that in 2025 we're still handling this. We're still dealing with this. I just thought everybody knew that's proper etiquette not to, but apparently not. But on two fronts though. They got two people to announce that they were pregnant before they were ready. And Macy was already doing this in private. She didn't even tell Michaela, who was her closest friend, that she was doing all the shots and she was flying in and out. So you forced people and you made them feel bad and you had to watch this girl. That was not a regular that was from the gut. That was deep sadness. And you can you imagine? We've talked about this before, like going through infertility in a group of like fertile people who just have children every other week. And then you
Mary
think,
Brown, you know?
yeah, that's true. And you have to go, what we're gonna do is pregnancy roulette. And I'm just like, even if the producers called me aside, I do not volunteer as tribute. I would not be doing that to someone. And then someone had the audacity to say, are you okay, Demi? Are you triggered? What the
Ah,
fuck do you think? She just poured out her heart to you the other day, saying for 4 years they've been trying to do this, and you just do. No, I thought that was so cruel, and honestly, they should have just vetoed that. That was just because she has to watch it again. You know,
they should
besides
have
living it.
vetoed it. They should have never aired it. Like it was
Yeah.
so bad. It was bad. It was bad for Demi. It was bad for the two who were pregnant. It was
Mm-hmm.
bad for everybody. And what
Mm-hmm.
I've never, I'm like, is this one of these things? Like I have never heard of this game in my life.
So let me tell you guys that I have heard of this game because it was done on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, except they tricked someone. They knew whose pregnancy stick was, but they tricked someone and they used someone who was pregnant to give it to somebody else. And she thought she was pregnant. And she was like, I cannot be pregnant for this man because she was about to break up with the guy. So she thought she was pregnant and fell to the ground and was sobbing so hard. Like, and then they had to be like, we're joking, we're joking, we're joking. We use somebody else. So that's the only reason, which is still cruel, but
So what you're saying is it could be even worse than what we watched on.
and
Where's
they
the
knew
funny part? What?
she wasn't pregnant. It would be, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I think the difference is none of these women were going through like infertility struggle and they had just not cried out their hearts at dinner and told them how hard that was.
Ugh.
That's the difference. So that's the only reason I heard about it. And oh, before I forget, Aid, I might be diverting a little. It just goes back to Jen and her lies. Zach tells us on the podcast that Jen trapped him with her second child. She took out her IUD and didn't tell him. It's not funny.
I don't even know what to say to that.
It's not funny because this is where I know that something else is going on with Jen. I don't know if it's a symptom of something. And I know that she's in survival mode. And maybe at that time, she thought a baby will bring them closer. And that's why she did it. But that is a huge thing to do to your partner.
No, that's evil.
That because yeah, she was still that was a lot. So
I
I
mean,
just wanted
I'm
to put
kind
that
of
out
like,
there.
but why? You are guys already married and have a baby. Are you like? I'm so confused as to why you would try to baby trap someone who you're already married to and have a baby.
I think that's my guess. Is like maybe they were already having rough times and she felt like if we have a baby, it'll make things better. Because again, they're still like children. So they don't think things through. They just do things. So I didn't get to that part yet. I saw that happen as a snippet, but I listened to the full thing. Maybe there's context and I don't know how they got over that, but I would be pretty damn pissed. So we'll see how that goes. So yeah, they do the pregnancy thing, they get over that, and then from there we start going through the whole hate Taylor versus Demi. It's one-sided in my mind because I don't know why she hates her so much. I think I'm going all over the place, but I was talking about Mikayla, and I forgot to mention that Mikayla talked about her sexual abuse.
Yeah, that was sad.
It was sad. It was very touching. Again, I can't remember if we heard about it in season 1, but it explains a lot about why she explained to us that that's why she wants to have a voice, that she feels like she's been quiet and that's what would have contributed to her stuff with her skin. But also I read that it was just her implants that were leaking. I didn't
Oh,
know she had implants actually. And also
I was just happy to hear that she doesn't speak to her mom or her parents anymore.
mm, because sometimes boundaries are necessary.
I just feel like there are people who, and if they're your parents, who just do you so badly. And then people will be like, oh, I still have a relationship with them. And I don't judge for it.
Mhm.
I'm happy to hear that that's not the case.
Okay, I think that's the last thing. Layla is not with Cameron anymore, guys. Cameron is a son of a bishop, but they're not together, and good for her. I mean, he's not cute.
I mean, Layla is an interesting study. Did someone say that Layla's been married and divorced twice?
Twice? I
I
thought it
thought
was
it was
just
just
once.
once.
I think it's just once.
Okay. And then she has two
Two
kids.
children. Yeah.
And then, but she said that she's never been married in the temple. But if he had wanted to get married in the temple, then she would have done it.
No, she
And
was talking about Cameron. She was like, she knows
yeah,
it's something Cameron wants to do.
yeah. I
Yeah.
got that. But I just thought it was like this back to your discussion about, can we learn more about Layla and this whole it's like she's left wherever she came from to be part of this world. She didn't grow up in it. Well, she
Yeah.
kind of did grow up in it by association, but her parents were not Mormons.
Yeah.
So it seems like she's stuck in it though, because why are you dating the son of a bishop? There's no one else.
These people don't also believe in being single. So
There's that. There is that.
so there's that. Because Layla really should not be dating yet, I believe, but who knows? Who knows? All right. So the fight. Demi woke up one day, but maybe Taylor started it. It's who do you think? Because Taylor came out with the Macy has the Sinner's Confessional something Sinner's Sunday, and someone said, "Oh, I slept with Demi's husband when she was out of town." And everyone's like, it's a lie. They're always together. They're stuck at the hip. And Taylor's like, well, except those 4 days when they went to Italy. And Taylor took that and ran like the star that she is. And
I'm
every little
confused as to
time.
why Macy didn't tell Demi about it earlier. Like she told us about it like episodes ago, and that was the only reason why Taylor could even use it as a weapon is because you didn't tell her about that earlier.
I think she thought it wasn't real.
Sure, but then she said it while they were filming.
Yeah,
So
because Taylor would take it and run. And that has nothing to do with me.
I feel sorry for Demi because no matter what she says, that part where she starts to try to kick Taylor out of the group, I just, it was so delusional
She's
that I
insane.
couldn't, like, everything that happened beforehand, I was just like, okay, I'm Team Taylor.
Well, I mean, this is a person who said, and I quote, I mean, it's no secret that I was the fan favorite. And I sat and I said, wait, what? Was she my favorite? Because I feel like I said it, but I'm not sure. And now I want to kick old me if I said it.
I'm not even trying to be mean. I barely remembered her. I told you guys at the top of the show. These are the people who I remembered from last season. I haven't read it, like, I've barely seen or heard about these people since then. And so when
Mm,
she said that, I was like, mind you, it took me 2 tries of watching this season to even remember everybody's name.
yeah.
So and Demi was one of the ones who I really didn't remember. So it was
But in
giving
her
real delusional.
in her delusional mind, she was one of the favorites. So that's where we got here. And Taylor believes that her husband did cheat. Where do you stand on this? Because I think it happened.
I think something happened because, and that's the other thing. This show is so great about breaking the fourth wall, and so they kept them mic'd, and they weren't on camera, and these people forget somehow. And she was right. The way he was talking was not like an innocent person.
I mean, I have to say it because it really was like foreplay to a reality TV lover, where you just say the camera went down, but the audio kept rolling or something like that, and it's like goosebumps. Thank you. Like, give us the tea. This is like that season of Atlanta where the cameras went down, but who was it? Eva or somebody kept filming the camera, or Ashley, one of them, but we still had footage. So he was acting uncomfortable even before the audio. She pointed it out and is like, okay, if I was guilty, this is how I would act. Like, what is going on? Like, you're being like, why are you so annoyed by this? You were like 47 years old. You should be able to brush this off. But why is this such a big deal to you? And that what made me think that, okay, something happened.
Yes, I think I agree. I think something happened.
So that continues, and Demi is very upset that Taylor wants to create something and that, Taylor is mad that her life is perfect. And the whole thing comes up where everyone is kind of saying it, but not quite saying it out loud. That Demi likes to present like her relationship is perfect and nothing is, going on. People get really mad about that on reality TV. But what they're really mad at is like, I get to show all the mess in my life and you don't. You get
Exactly.
to.
But the thing with Taylor is like, you cannot say you have not reaped the rewards of showing your mess.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that Demi didn't get the message. Like, if you want more, if you want what Taylor has, you're gonna need to show what Taylor shows.
I'm glad you said that. So I think that is the root of their fight because we talked about Taylor and her self hate or lack of self love. And Demi is feeding into that. And it could be how they grew up. Demi is shocked that for all that they've been taught to be a good girl, to be pure, and to be that, this is what people want. This disgusting, her words, not me, this disgusting girl who is trash, who is sleeping with other people, who is dating someone that was an addict, who went to prison, and who went or whatever, is the leader of Mom Talk and the people that people see as a star. And she feels like she should be rewarded because I am classy. I don't do any of that stuff. I am clean. Because I think at some point her words were, why is this who you guys want to represent us out there? And that's what they're really like fighting about. And she's jabbing at the thing that Taylor is so insecure about. Like, maybe I am not worthy about it. And she's struggling between the bravado and like, no, I'm a tough chick, and the fact like this could be real, everything that she's saying.
I love that perspective of like, oh, I do everything right, so I'm supposed to get everything that I'm owed. The only part where Demi, I don't want to say kind of had a point is
Hmm.
the beginning of last season. Taylor was arrested for domestic violence.
Hmm.
That's problematic. That's problematic. But everything else is just their worldview. That I think that should be a lesson to her about the fact that they are in this cloistered world that is a minority in this country. People do not, your church is big to you, big in influence in the US, but pretty small in terms of culture. So the
Yeah.
rest of the world is not, we don't have the same values. We like mess. We
They
like honesty. We don't mind if you have two baby daddies. That's not a big deal to us.
yeah. So now I might go a little deeper and I could be reaching here. Just wanted to see what you think. I think the other part too, because when two times Demi brings up the fact that, oh, instead of her to be she needs to be protecting, she brings up Ever, which I think was, going too far, because I do think Taylor is sad about that and has remorse about, bringing her child in that mess and all that kind of stuff. But she brings him up and was like, you should be there, like the things you do affect other people, including the child. And then when Taylor's mom crashes the Christmas party, she also says the thing, and her words exactly were, she should be out there, go to therapy, and go be a fucking mom. I think, again, she's triggered also because I'm a good girl. I'm doing this. I deserve to be a mom. I can take care of a child without all this chaos. But how come she gets to have children when she doesn't even have the tools to be a good mom?
I also, doesn't Demi have one child though?
She said stepchildren. So I don't know. Does
I
she?
don't know why I thought she had one child.
I'm always confused about their children's situation because some of them can show them on camera, some can't. So I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay, and most of them either can or won't, which in some ways is a good thing.
Yeah, always.
Except for it's called mom talk, so it's a little
Hmm.
bit confusing when we don't see the children who are making you a member of this, but understood. Yes. If when you're trying to get pregnant and people are easily getting pregnant, it can lead to feelings. You're supposed to manage those feelings inside, not scream
Hmm.
about them while the cameras are rolling. But you do you to me.
Where I agree with Demi is that yes, Taylor does not give good friend. There is no place. She doesn't even seem like she's friends with any of them. I'm not gonna
No.
lie. Even Miranda, she looks like she's a stranger. Like, who are you? Oh yeah, I knew you sometime. But she doesn't seem connected to any of them. Even in season one, it just feels like I brought you here. Bow down.
But it felt like in season one that she was close to Macy, or am I misremembering?
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
But they didn't seem as close this season. Like at one point, I
Mm-mm.
was like, was that the same person? Because I really was struggling to identify them.
That's
Um,
true.
because they just didn't seem as connected as they did last year. And I do, I mean, you got to be a benevolent. Like when you're on the top, you don't have to bow down to other people, but you have to recognize that no one's touching you. So there's no reason to try to bring anybody down.
Yeah. I actually don't even think Taylor's trying to bring people down. These people are just upset that she's the face. Because Whitney has that purity thing too. Like, these people don't even go to church. This is the funniest part. I have not seen and nothing about everything they do indicates to me that they still believe in the faith. It's such an interesting thing to see. But she's not trying to. But I will say this. They can go back and forth and they can say whatever they want about Taylor. Taylor has a point about the CMA awards. For all of them, how many are they? Like 15 of them? I don't know how many they are. All of you suddenly were busy and somebody made a point like, "Oh, I wasn't on my phone." You are always on your phone.
It's your
Like,
bread and butter. It's how you pay your
yes.
bills.
Yes, and that it's their life. So she has a point about that. Yes, you texted me. Yes, you did. That's not what we do. Our brand is about us. It's going to be very glaring. One of them said, "I'm not even on social media, but even I noticed that they didn't say anything." So for all of you not to say anything publicly, sorry, she has a point. Yes, it doesn't make sense in the grand scheme of things, and yes, you checked on her behind the scenes, but it's part of the image that you sell, and it was very pointed, and they were jealous, and they all agreed to not say anything publicly.
I'm with you 1,000%. Like I've been hearing different voices about people saying like, "Oh, she yelled at them publicly. She apologized privately." Da 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 da. But I'm with you. Play the game. Like this is what once again, this is what pays all of y'all's bills.
Mm-hmm.
Social media.
Mm-hmm.
You know people are watching who's following who. You know you have entered that universe where if you unfollow each other, if you don't like each other's posts, people are watching. Don't act like you don't know that. And you
Yeah.
are all jealous, which is so funny to me. Um, and I wouldn't say all. I even feel like someone like Layla. um gets it kind of, not enough to have liked the freaking post, but she gets a rising tide lifts all boats.
Yep. Absolutely. She's grateful too. Like she got her mix right. Her ratio is right. But she just needs to stop being a follower though. But it's paying her, so why would she stop,
She's
honestly?
23.
I know, I know. God, with
You're
two
like, she needs
kids.
to stop being a follower. She's 23. Who's she gonna lead? Um, I also thought, I wondered a bit about Demi asking Layla, like, how much did you get paid for that shoot?
Girl.
Mm,
That was shady.
I,
That was shady.
I am like way too attuned to these things. I will freely admit that I am way too like, but I was like, why are you asking the black girl how much she got paid?
I don't think it was yeah, I see where you're coming from, but I think she would have done it to anyone who went with that with Taylor. She just
Uh,
wants to know because she did the thing with Jesse. She would do it with anyone. Because as long as she can do it to Jesse, she would do it with anyone. And then she tried to move it around like she didn't do anything. She was like, "No, I didn't say that. It was just a reaction to what had happened." And I'm like, I think Jesse pegged her right. Jesse said she speaks like a therapist, so it sounds like she's saying the truth, but she's not. So okay, to round everything up, with the way Taylor decided to play her season, she gets Marciano. I think that's how season one ended too. They got Jenna, whoever, and so he got Marciano, who is also so thirsty to be in reality TV. He comes in and sits down, and they're going back and forth. And Taylor just asked him, and he was like, "No, it wasn't Demi. It was Jesse." And Taylor flat out says, "Did you guys fuck?" And he just nods. He didn't say yes, he just nodded. And she's like, damn. And that's where we
okay,
are.
you watched Vanderpump Villa. Is he lying?
We don't know. They didn't show anything there. Nothing happened there. He was only like handsy with Demi. Like he was infatuated with Demi. That was like the thing that we saw, but I didn't see the thing with Jesse. I think that happened afterwards. According to Sheena, they went somewhere. She had his location because Sheena has everybody's location and saw that he went back to her hotel and he spent the night and he had said so. So I don't know if this is all just TV, but Jesse was on via. Oh my god, I need to learn this by the next
I
time.
always look at it and think Val files.
Val. Okay, Val. No, just go with that.
But that has nothing to do with ever actually hearing anybody say it.
Yeah, I know. I'm so sorry, guys, for anyone who knows and is yelling right now. Val Files. And she said when season three comes out, I take accountability. Like things are not good with her husband. That much we know that she says. Jordan, I think is his name. And she said, I take accountability for my things. I own my truth, which makes me feel like, oh, that's what it is. And maybe that's why she was loyal to Demi because I think Taylor was like, I don't know, she's so loyal to her. I wonder what she has on her. Maybe that's what it is. I have no idea. So we'll see in season three. But I wonder if they're going to make us wait till next year, which I doubt since it's already shot.
No, I was thinking it was coming soon. I don't know where I got that idea. Maybe optimistic thinking, but I don't think they even made us wait this long last time. They know they have something good on their hands.
It's been a year. Wait, when was the last September?
Yeah. 9 months?
September
Okay.
to yeah. Because I don't want them to turn it into a factory thing and then it becomes maybe they'll follow like Selling Sunset where it comes in and then there's part B and all that stuff. All right, I'll just do a little things that I noticed. I don't know if this is a cultural thing, but Real Housewives of New York. Erin wanted to prove to everybody that her husband had a big dick and just whipped out a picture and showed it. And Jesse did the same thing because Jen said your husband's small dick. She brought out a thing and said, "This is it." And I'm like, is this normal? Do people just show pictures of their husband's dicks to their friends?
It screams like I'm desperate to have a starring role in this show to the point where I will just, nothing is off limits.
Because
Not my husband's dignity, not my own.
I don't even know why you'd want to prove anything to anybody. Like, believe what you want to believe. Who cares? When Whitney says, the Halloween party was kind of crazy and I don't understand what happened, but this is what I miss about Mom Talk. I'm like, yes, villain, lean in. This is home to you. This is what you want. I think Poppy sponsored this season because they were everywhere. I mean, they kept blocking out some of like the drinks because Taylor needs to slow down on the energy drinks, by the way. because she didn't need any more. But they were everywhere with that.
I'm glad you thought it was energy drinks. Like, I was kind of concerned about Taylor because there was just something off about
Mm-hmm.
her.
Mm-hmm. I know exactly what you mean, but I don't want to touch it. I don't want to. They were energy drinks. They're the I forget it, the Hawaiian brand, the Auli whatever. They have an aftertaste, so I don't really like them. But yeah, those are the ones she kept popping. Um. Okay, I think that's about it. Was there anything else we didn't touch?
We didn't. I just want to mention this because I feel like this show and Gypsy Rose are the two shows that do it the best.
Oh,
The insertion of like social media and what people are saying on social media to
yeah.
round out the story because that's a big part of the story. I really like it.
Oh, okay.
Show me the screenshots. Throw in some videos of other people making TikToks discussing about it because that's what's really happening. I just think in general this show does so well at like the Taylor Frankie Paul thing, like and the CMAs that
Yeah.
that's how you tell the story.
Yeah. Oh, the insertion. I see what you mean. Yes. Yes, it is. Okay, Aid. Always a pleasure having you here.
Always glad to be here.
Well, guys, you know where to find me. Also call MAFS on Instagram, on Twitter, on Threads, and on Blue Sky. Please give me a 5-star rating on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And until the next time, I will see you then. Bye, guys.
Bye.